Morning, about 7 a.m. here in Shoshone National Forest. I got up, had a little bit of breakfast in bed, stretched, got ready for the day, and I'm gonna head into town to see if I can find a place to get my oil changed. And when I do, then I will head west again all the way to Yellowstone and then find myself a site set up and then see what Yellowstone has to offer. So, again, I have no cell service, so I'm not really sure where to go in Cody, the next biggest city, but they should have something along the main drag, hopefully. And hopefully there's something open early enough on a Monday morning. This apple is absolutely gigantic. There's gotta be like 2,000 calories in this thing. I should have cut it up. Anyway, that's the plan for today.
At some point in the middle of the night, I'd realized that I had not changed my oil in about 3,000 miles. I'll have to ride back into Cody to get it changed and then head into Yellowstone once and for all. I was blessed with an excellent sunny yet chilly weather, perfect for riding long distance. Today I woke up amongst the dry peaks of the Absaroka mountain range. The range flanks this edge of Yellowstone, leaving only 2 entrances to the park from the east. Absaroka was a name for the local natives meaning children of the large-beaked bird in Hidatsa, a neighboring Siouan language. When first discovered by the French, they were known as the people of the Crow, who were then just named Crow in English. Today the Crow Reservation is north of the Bighorn Mountains across the state line in Montana. Just under 8,000 Crow live here, with tribal members of all ages who still speak the Crow language, which is taught alongside English in immersion schools and camps. Some children still learn Crow as a first language. Absaroka, in modern times, was the name of an actual proposed 49th state in 1939.
On this episode, Phantom Borders, the state of Absaroka.
The proposed state of Absaroka was a region of several counties in Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming that contemplated secession and statehood. The movement rose out of the Great Depression, when the farmers of these regions resented the New Deal legislation of FDR as well as the Democratic control of their state governments. In essence, they felt underrepresented. Southern Wyoming is where the Union Pacific Railroad and railroad unions were, and they held economic sway over the state government. No doubt, the implementation of Social Security and other federal New Deal taxes were a threat to the self-reliant and libertarian way of life of the Wild West of Absaroka. The people of Absaroka wanted their voices heard, or they threatened to leave the state. This region was one of the last of the Wild West to be occupied by white settlement. The Sioux Wars of the 19th century left this region untamable for the better part of the Manifest Destiny Western expansion. Hostile Native American presence was too thick. A.R. Swickard, a street commissioner of Sheridan, Wyoming, appointed himself governor of Absaroka and started hearing grievances in their capital of Sheridan, Wyoming. To increase tourism to the state, it was proposed that they include the Black Hills in their borders, as well as distribute actual license plates. They even had a Miss Absaroka 1939 pageant. The King of Norway, King Haakon VII, made a visit to Absaroka. The movement eventually lost its momentum as the United States found itself deep in the throes of World War II. I've had the pleasure of also reading a series of murder mysteries by Craig Johnson that tell the story of Walt Longmire, the sheriff of fictional Absaroka County. It emulates the small-town, self-reliant atmosphere of the region with elements of Native American lore, local history, and modern Western sarcasm.
So I'm here at the only bike shop in town, I think, which is on the western edge of town, which is good. Guy from Quebec is getting his rear tire replaced because he had a nasty, I don't know, he doesn't speak very good English, more French than English, but he did hit something and it ruined it, and he's getting an oil change. And then I'm right next. So it's about 9 o'clock. I probably won't get into Yellowstone until maybe noon. I don't know. Maybe sooner. I like to say noon. Hopefully then lunch will be ready by around 1. You know, I'll have a place to call my own when I get in there. So I do have 4G here, which is great. I used the 4G to try to find 2 other locations. Both of them were closed or didn't change oil. So I ended up finding this on the way, and so I'm next in line. So we're just sitting here waiting, or I'm sitting here, and I'll get him some gas, clean up the windshield, and then we'll be ready for another day. You always have to have these maintenance days. I should have got the oil change at 2,000, said screw it, and this is all practice, right?